fall over, but I'm not going to do this and get my balance. I'm going to try to fall over, and then I'm just going to break my knees. Our width of stance is dictated by our shoulder width. Now I've got his complete guide for his ball position and his width of stance. Hold this for me. 9 iron, 8 iron, 7 iron, 6 iron, 5 iron, 4 iron, 3 iron, driver, right? Pitching wedge, outside of shoulders, outside of feet, right? 7 iron, middle of shoulders, outside of feet, right? The hips get sitting back a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
and then the shoulders go right into the toes, and we don't have that much space. I would still want to try to maintain my hips over my ankles and nice tilt. Okay, now, how are we going to make sure that one or two of those get a little bit better? It's creating the tilt from your waist first, and then using your knees to balance yourself.
Okay.
Okay, and that goes into the full swing too. That's going to be our process for the full swing. My knees are locked and I'm tilting. Holy cow, I'm going to fall over, but I'm not going to do this and get my balance. I'm going to try to fall over, and then I'm just going to break my knees.
Gotcha.
And that's how you're going to begin to grab the ground with your feet on your full swing. Okay,
Gotcha.
so again, we're already working. We've only hit 7 golf balls, but we're already working on the core components of your golf swing, you know?
Yeah.
Setup is close, but because of your knowledge of the lower body and how you need to load and work it, you know what I know I'm going to see in the full swing? I'm going to see the hips behind the ankles, right? And you're going to be ready to use that strong lower body and load it. And we need to make sure that we keep the hips, over our ankles and stay over the golf ball. And again, we're going to find as we get into longer clubs, the question you asked, where's the pressure in my feet got to be then, right? How do I grab the ground? Maintaining this. As you get in here and the more nervous or the harder you get it or the harder you try to hit it or further, it's going to get more of this, which now causes a lot of the issues that we've talked about or that you've mentioned or seen in your golf game. Taller in the knees, less knee flex, tilt from your waist. Now we're talking, attaboy, should feel like you're going to fall over.
Yep.
Good, and then just turn and turn. Wow, very different, huh?
Yeah.
But look at this, but this is what we got to strive to be. I call it the stick figure. A line straight from the hip to the ankle, a straight line up to the shoulders, and then look at the arms hanging underneath them. Wow, all you have to do from there is just turn and turn. But really, if you're in the right setup, it's doing it by itself preset, okay?
Nice. Yeah, I think the key for me there was I was always hinging from the hips, but I would always move back to find my balance. I think hinging from the hips and feeling like you're falling forward and then unhinging the knees to be able to grab the ground, as you say, like really helped me find that position.
Good. Because this is just such a good thing that is gonna keep you exactly where you need to be. You got the alignment rods, right? I wonder if you have these marked up already or not.
He
does.
They're not exactly marked, but we can do it again because I did it by myself. Could it be wrong?
Again, wonderful student. I love this dude. Kev, come on over here. Turn this way for us. So we've got, and we're gonna put a little mark on these. This alignment rod, you guys, one of his things was his alignment, his width of stance, his great question that he just asked. Our width of stance is dictated by our shoulder width. That's our guide. The shoulders are never gonna change. Our ball position is gonna be dictated from the sternum to the shoulder. So when I get 3 lines on here, like these 3 pieces of tape he's got, shoulders and chest, now I've got his complete guide for his ball position and his width of stance. Hold this for me. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a couple lines on these, and again, you got some nice wide shoulders, right? Stronger guy. We'll put this right here. We'll put this right here. So we're gonna use these blue marks, but check this out, okay? This now is his complete guide for width of stance and ball position through the bag. If you're hitting balls and you're somebody who needs structure, right, which everybody does, we get this alignment rod down, and now we've got a wonderful guide. We've got our wedges are the outside of my shoulders, outside of my feet. They're the 2 outside lines I just drew. My ball position on my wedge is going to be back edge of the middle of my stance. It's never going to be back of center unless we're trying to hit a bump and run or we're trying to hit one out of the tree. Okay? So your ball position will live from your pitching wedge roughly about 1/4 of an inch or more, 9 iron, 8 iron, 7 iron, 6 iron, 5 iron, 4 iron, 3 iron, driver, right? So you've now got this whole spectrum that you can know where your ball position should be based on the club you're hitting. Now, the width of stance, right? Pitching wedge, outside of shoulders, outside of feet, right? 7 iron, middle of shoulders, outside of feet. Driver now, outside of shoulders, inside of feet. okay, our widest stance. Again, this is going to be doing a number of things for us. Number one, when we get the hip bump, which you already know about, okay, when we get the hip bump, the narrower stance puts more pressure on my front foot. I've got about, like I said, when I've got a really narrow stance, I got about 90% on the front foot, right? When I've got my 8-iron and I bump, I've got about 65 or 70%. When I get my 4-iron and I bump, my upper body is a little bit more supported back here, and now I'm closer to 50-50. So again, for you, the answer to your question of I get over I get on the course and I'm struggling to find that spot, you understanding how the pressures in your feet at address will change, how the pressures in your feet during the swing, a nice short iron or wedge, will change. Nice driver. I'm now loaded on this back foot, ready to explode through the golf ball. It's all preset by ball position width of stance, right?
Yeah.
So an extremely important thing, you know, you're not going to see any good wedge players get in there and have a short shot and be like this, you know. So that's going to be great for us to have. An alignment rod out in front of you, for me, one of the best ways to possibly work on alignment, if you're out on the golf course and you're playing, and it's like late in the day, right? In Chicago, you got plenty of golf courses. Sometimes you get to be out on the course by yourself. Out in California, it's hard to. But you can get out there. You can have an alignment rod with you when you hit, and you can go ahead and put this alignment rod in between you, your ball, and the target. Okay?
Gotcha.
And now, this to me is where people get comfortable with alignment. It's more about getting the club face to the tip of that alignment rod, and then knowing that my club face is also going through that alignment rod to my target right there. Now I've created the visual I need. Now I can get in and build my stance to that.
Gotcha.
But that's something that also great golfers have the ability to. They have the ability to see grids. You know, I feel like you could do that. You're, you know, kind of structured person. You can see grids and square lines and straight lines. So we can just hit this one out kind of down that alignment rod roughly.
Okay.
But again, it's always good if you're hitting golf balls, we should be making sure that's down there like that, okay?
Okay.